Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into my latest video. I've got a lot of travel sketching under my belt. I was recently on a trip with my wife to Central Europe and found time each day to do a quick sketch or two. Now I didn't finish most of the sketching on location because there was a lot of things we wanted to see. And so you saw a quick clip I was able to capture on a rainy day, pencil and initial pen work on location there of Townhall in Graz. So this is video now back home and finalizing some of the sketches. So working from photos now to finalize the pen work. And what I do here, because I've wanted to, evolve my watercolor washing, I wanted to do a thumbnail study of the lighting. Now it was an overcast and rainy day, so I wanted to try to exaggerate some of the lighting conditions to have a bright and glowing front. And I've been working with reference to a Domestica course I took with Alex Kilhertz. And so he's very good at moving quickly and showing all the steps of how he develops a painting. And so starting with the sky is a very light wash, and then wetting everything to allow the paints to move freely, and instead of ending up with a static color, the wet allows the paint and the pigment to move around. I'm moving on an angle to try to get some kind of directionality to the light. Now what I forget to do here on this facade wash is add some deeper browns, so I ended up with a pretty monotone color. And then I wanted to pick out the green of the streetcar and just work with a very few select colors. So there's kind of a gray for the sky, a beige tone for the building, and then I wanted to use this green blue for the streetcar and for the highlights on the domes of the building. In working from lightest to darkest, and now adding the roof. I am struggling with working this way. Like I find that I end up wanting to outline everything and then delicately color everything in, but that's not how watercolors work. I'm learning, especially the work that I really like, the sketches that I like, have a very loose style, and they're able to capture the big shapes of the shadow and light very quickly. And so this is just part of the process. I'm not particularly in love with it. There are some moments around the domes that I actually did like, but I'll just allow the video to continue. Now adding some of the deeper shadows in. That sketch on the left is the Slovak pub, which is a traditional Slovakian restaurant that we went to in Bratislava. I was trying out having one composition bleed into the other. I think in hindsight I would have made this town hall building maybe 2/3 the size, so that there's a bit of white space around it. I don't like that top of the page cuts off the top of the tower, but it's all a big learning process. And I am trying to use pen as a way to highlight shadows, not to outline everything. I think I'm still outlining more than I'd like to maybe, but it's a habit I have. And so trying to focus on just highlighting the shadows with the line work. And I'm being a bit scratchy. I think I'm trying to get the look of if I were working with a fountain pen, but I have to sort of build up with multiple strokes to get a thicker, bigger splash of dark. And I decided on an accent color using this bright red for the Austrian flag, and then I decided to use the red for all the umbrellas just to keep the palette simple. I have a larger sketchbook than before, so I had to put my tripod on top of a speaker to allow everything in the shot. At the beginning, when I was doing the big washes, I was standing up to try to encourage me to move faster and to focus just on the big shapes. Now I'm sitting down and being a bit more precise, and you can see my head popping into view. I brought a select number of paints with me. I have a set of 24 and I brought 12 with me, so I had a smaller case to carry around, and I'm noticing that I'm working through certain colors much faster than others. In particular, there's a light beige and a dark gray that I've used more than half of already. And so I guess that's how I'll find my palette. If you'd like to see the mixing of the paints and the palette in the view, let me know and I can include it. I could probably put it on top of the sketchbook so you can see the colors that I'm mixing. And I bought this brush just before the trip. I wanted something to do even water washes with before starting painting. But then I really like the way this brush allows for some straight details. And I think I want to get a slightly smaller one that I can use to do things like this. And I find it also pretty effective at adding tone to buildings. So now this part I enjoy the most is when everything's sort of there and you're just pulling a few popping a few highlights out. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. I think I've done quite a few travel sketches, so I'll just figure out how to communicate them. It'll be a bit of a different video. Oh, and adding a bit of texture now. Some red speckles. and thank you for tuning in.